Bedtime Stories with Mr. Josh.
Tonight we'll read Beauty and the Beast, the bedtime story. We'll see what happens when four friends who can't choose a bedtime story come up with a very creative way to put themselves to sleep. Let's get started. The sun was setting over the Beast's castle. Outside, the world was snowy and cold. But inside, Belle felt quite cozy. Though she wouldn't have believed it possible when she first arrived, Belle was enjoying her time there. She had spent the last few days outside, talking to her horse, Felipe, on strolls and even having snowball fights with the beast. Somehow, against all odds, Belle was coming to think of the castle as home. Belle watched through her window as the beast walked Felipe to the stables. Pausing, he gave the horse an awkward but kind pat with his large paw. There is more to him than meets the eye, Belle. Suddenly, Chip bounced in. "Belle, Belle," he called. "It's story time." Now, Chip," Mrs. Potts said, coming in behind her son. "You must wait for Belle to offer to read you a story. Perhaps she is tired and wishes to go to bed." "I'm all right," Belle replied, smiling. She'd gotten into the habit of reading bedtime stories with her new friends, and she'd been looking forward to it all day. "Let's go down to the library." "Yippee!" Chip cried as he bounced out of the room. Lemire and Cogsworth were already in the library when the trio arrived. The pair had pulled Belle's favorite chair close to the crackling fire. A warm blanket rested over the back, and a thick book with a worn leather cover sat on the seat. "I thought perhaps we could read this one tonight," Cogsworth suggested, pointing at the book. Lemire peered at the cover. "Helmets Through Ages, a detailed history of headwear," he read aloud. No. There must be some excitement, some drama, perhaps some l'amour." "Let's read an adventure story, one with big, scary monsters," Chip exclaimed. "Nothing too scary, love," Mrs. Potts said gently. "You don't want to have nightmares." Belle thought for a moment, her eyes skimming the colorful spines that lined the walls around them. Everyone wanted to read something so different. How would she find a story to make everyone happy? Then, Belle had an idea. "Why don't we make up our own bedtime story tonight?" she suggested. "Our own story?" Chip asked, excited. "Yes." Belle clapped her hands. "We'll go around the circle and each add a line or two. It'll be fun." "A marvelous idea, dear," Mrs. Potts said. "Magnifique," Lemire agreed. "Quite," Cogsworth added. And so, the friends gathered around the fire, eager to begin. Everyone insisted that Belle go first. "Okay," she thought for a moment and then began. "Once upon a time, there was a knight named Sir Alec. Sir Alec was noble and brave, and wherever he went, he rode upon his trusty steed." She smiled, thinking of Felipe. "Did the dragons fight?" Chip shouted, bouncing eagerly. Belle laughed at the teacup. "Why don't you go next and tell us?" Sir Alec went on lots of adventures. He fought big, scary dragons and saved lots of princesses, Chip said. People came to his castle from all over to ask for his help. "Ooh, I believe I have something to add," Cogsworth said. "Wonderful," Belle said encouragingly. Sir Alec's castle was of the concentric variety, a vast improvement on the Moulton Bailey Castle. The concentric design was a combination of the shell keep and the rectangular keep. It had many lines of defense in the form of multiple stone walls. The stone that was used was particularly interesting. Cogsworth paused as he noticed Lemire gesturing for him to finish his part. "Well, yes, I suppose that was a few lines," Cogsworth sputtered. "You gave us great detail about the setting, Belle. Lemire, would you like to continue?" Of course, the candlewoman said. One day, our hero, Sir Allard, heard about a ferocious dragon. And, as all brave knights know, where there is a dragon, there is often a princess. And so, dreaming of rescuing the princess and finding true love, Sir Allard set off to find the dragon. He soon found himself in an enchanted forest, a forest that was so dreadfully dark that he could not see. Ooh, Mrs. Potts exclaimed. I know what happens next. As Sir Allard's eyes adjusted, he saw something large resting in the distance. Mrs. Potts said, it appeared to be the dragon, but the creature didn't look like the knight that he thought he would. In fact, he looked a bit sad. What did he do, Mama? Chip asked. Well, now, I've had my turn, Chip, Mrs. Potts said. We've all had our turns, Cogsworth exclaimed. Who will finish the tale? Suddenly, a cough came from outside of the library door. The group turned to see the beast standing in the doorway. He had been listening to their story the whole time. Hello, Belle called. Would you care to come in and help us finish the story? No, the beast said gruffly, turning to leave. I wouldn't know what to say. You can do it, Lemire said. It's easy, Chip added. Please, Belle said, motioning for him to sit next to her. All right, the beast strolled over and sat next to Belle. Well, I thought that maybe, I don't know. This is ridiculous, he said, fidgeting nervously. Belle put her hand on his paw and smiled encouragingly. He looked at it and then tried again. The knight saw that the dragon was upset and lonely, so Sir Allard talked to him, and something very unlikely happened. The two of them became, well, friends. The end. The room was quiet for a moment. Then everyone began to speak at once. Très bien, Lemire exclaimed. Splendid, sir, Cogsworth cried. Very well done indeed, Mrs. Potts said. Yes, Belle said. That was a wonderful bedtime story. She smiled at the beast, who seemed to keep surprising her with the most perfect ending. The end.
Readers are leaders.